Ultra Maximus here. Another toy review for Transformers. We're going to take a look at Hubcap, and he is from our Hunt for the Decepticon series. Legends figure. What I'd like to do is kind of just, again, talk about the character himself. We'll take a look at the packaging, and then we'll pull him out of the package, see how he transforms, and the quality of the product. Hubcap. He's kind of an obscure character unless you're a real Transformers geek. He's one of the mini-bots that were produced from the Generation 1 series. One of the repaints, what I like to call the repaints, where they take the same figure and change him over and over and over again. Sometimes they have different heads, sometimes they're just different paint schemes. He kind of falls in the class with like Bumblebee, who's the primary of those mini-bots that turn into little Volkswagens. You also had Cliffjumper, who was technically a Porsche in Generation 1, which Porsche and Volkswagen kind of go hand in hand if you're a big car history buff person. Then you had Bumper and Hubcap, and there might have been a couple other ones. However, we're going to focus on Hubcap. Never made an appearance in Generation 1. Never, to my knowledge, made an appearance in the Marvel comics. The first real appearance I see of Hubcap in the comic books would be the old Dreamwave comics. Very brief cameo. He's primarily seen in the IDW publishing comics with a funeral scene. You see him, I believe it's for Bumper, who gets killed in a Decepticon battle, and you see Hubcap in there, and he's got some dialogue with, I want to say Cliffjumper. That may not be right. So if you know, please leave a message, leave a video message, or leave a comment. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I believe that's the case. Really, other than that, you don't see this character anywhere else. He's generally yellow. The old school Hubcap was yellow. He was a repaint of Bumblebee. The new one's a little different. I kind of like it in the fact that it's an old school hot rod. That's actually the reason I picked this figure up. I thought that was really cool because you don't see that many kind of classic cars in the Transformers series, so very cool to see that. Other than that, let's take a look at him. Let's take him out of the package and see where he goes. Alright, so we have Hubcap here in our package. So this is a full screen view of the package itself. We'll kind of zoom in a little bit. So obviously we have our name Hubcap here. Some things I kind of want to point out. One of the nice things is, kind of hard a little bit to see on the package itself, but the hot rod piece here is kind of inset a little, and it kind of gives the package a 3D kind of look, which is kind of nice. There's also an advertisement right here for the hub that had the Transformers Prime series on it. We will probably talk about that in another review. Obviously a Hunt for the Decepticon series. It says that he is a level 2 Transformer, easy, so we'll find out here in a second if that is the case. If you kind of look up, you see in the bubble piece there is an Autobot logo there. It says he is a Scout class down here on the bottom. If we flip it over here, we see a painted Autobot logo. At the bottom of it, we really just kind of have a Transformers Collector Club, barcode, and general manufacturer's information there. Nothing too terribly exciting. Alright, so the back of the figure here. Alright, so there's the back of the package, what it looks like in completeness. Again, we have our Autobot logo up here. Hubcap, he is an Autobot. We have our dialogue that explains what's going on with him. It says, Hubcap never liked the way Brimstone pushed other robots around, and he never made any effort to hide his disapproval. The two robots have clashed more times than either of them can count. Now their rivalry has moved to the urban drag strips of Earth. Brimstone may consider himself the king of the road, but Hubcap won't give up until this so-called king is just another wreck. And it's then got his stats down here. Strength of 9, intelligence of 6, speed of 7, endurance of 8, rank of 5, courage of 8, fire blast of 6, which would be his weapon, and skill of 6. I'm sorry, skill of 5. He is a muscle car mode, is what it says right there. Transformers.com, obviously at the bottom, and then we get a picture of Hubcap right there. So that is our package. Kind of nice. I think the newer Legends figures look a little bit better than some of the older ones. So let's take him out of the package and see what he looks like. Alright, so here's Hubcap in our robot mode, and I believe earlier I mentioned he was a scout figure a Legends figure. That's incorrect. He's obviously a scout figure, so just to correct that off the bat there. Looking at him, he's actually a very decent looking robot. I like the figure. I like its stance. It's got pretty decent posability. The leg, the knees move, the feet move. You've got a ball joint socket here for the arm, not one for the hand. Shoulder, the head moves. It's a little stiff because it's a new figure. Obviously the hips move, and doesn't look like any hip swing action. So all in all, very decent for this style figure. This is about an $8 figure. I found this one at Meyer in Greenwood, Indiana. He's a pretty common figure, I think, right now, here in the late January of 2011. Usually you can find this figure. He's pretty decent. I like the color scheme. Classic red of the hot rod. You see the pipes coming off here, the tires obviously, and kind of focus here. There's a little bit of a that you can see. It's kind of hard to see. There's the Autobot logo that's in black on his chest piece, and then he's got the grid right there, the grill right here from the classic hot rod. He's got kind of this figure falls in line with the Bayformers, I like to call them, the Michael Bay Transformers. It's not as stylized as some of the other figures. Primarily just in the head, I think it really kind of captures that Michael Bay Transformer style figure. This could easily fall into some of the other series of Transformers, I think. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with the robot features. So let's put him into vehicle mode and then transform him and see where he goes. Alright, so here we have Hubcap in his vehicle mode. Pretty nice looking. Rolls pretty good. Kind of front end, obviously Autobot logo here at the front of the vehicle. These pipes come down. Looks pretty decent. Now this particular figure, it's a little kind of warped right there. I'm sure it's probably just a model of this particular figure. He does have, if close up, he's got the door handles, and on the back we can see the outline of the trunk itself, a gas cap, pipes come down, tail lights, you got your chrome bumper, grill, headlights. All in all, a pretty decent figure here in car mode. Pretty impressive for the size of figure. Now, some things I didn't mention before. Obviously, we have the instruction sheet that comes with, and there's also the Hunt for Decepticons, Transformers.com. Not really sure. I'm presuming it's some kind of add in. I'll go online later and take a look at it. You register a 14-digit code, complete 3 Decepticon missions online, and unlock special Autobot Alliance training facility content on our website. A different code is required to complete each Decepticon mission. Content is available through January 31st, 2011. See full instructions at Transformers.com. Valid only at participating countries. Please get parents' approval, so if you're a younger child, please make sure mom and dad says it's okay. So this is some additional Transformers content that you can go online. I'll have to take a look at that here in a little bit. One thing I wanted to note, the little rubber band. The plastic rubber band you usually see in some of the newer Transformers figures over the past several years. It had one there in the middle in the packaging, which I thought interesting for the size figure. Usually, it seems like these rubber bands are reserved for some of the bigger figures, so that was kind of interesting to see the little rubber band piece there. So what we're going to do now, we will turn Hubcap from the nice little red hot rod that we have here. Interesting that he's red and not yellow. Interesting. That's really all I have to say. So we're going to pull him apart here. There's his legs. There's his arms. We're going to put his feet down a little bit. Put this down here. And there we go. We have Hubcap back in robot mode. So pretty easy, much like the box says. Here in the back, it's an easy transformation. Again, not a bad Scout class figure. I like the look. I like the design. I like the car form. He looks good in red. I will give it that. But at the same token, I'd like to see this figure, since he is Hubcap, I'd like to see a yellow version of that. So, maybe Hasbro will release one in the future. I'm sure there's some custom paints out there. All in all, I would say this is a pretty decent figure. If you're looking for a Scout class figure, this is definitely a decent one to pick up. He's pretty common in the stores. I believe, seen him in most of the stores: Kmart's, Walmart's, Myers, Target's. Should be easily found at your local retailers, and relatively cheap. I think I paid $8 for this particular figure here, so not a bad purchase. If you're looking for a decent little old school style car, it definitely changes up the mix, and I'm pretty impressed for the price and for the style of toy. So I definitely give Hubcap here, the remake, a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.